Good morning, everybody. Michelle is here. I hope everybody had a great day yesterday, Friday, because we always wish for Friday to get here, and I know for a fact, for in my opinion, in my regards, Fridays are no different than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think sometimes Sunday is my favorite day. Sunday seems to be a little bit more calmer, with the neighborhood, and then it kind of reflects all through the environment because we have that kind of power to control not only ourselves, but we can control the environment and control other people if we just take very special care of our thoughts and what we're thinking about, and understand the power behind our thoughts. And I mean, we could talk about this until the cows come home, as they say. But unless you experience it and know that for a fact that your thoughts matter, you're not going to realize the impact you're causing yourself, your environment, and the planet and the universe, as a matter of fact. So I was talking about certain things that happened to me when I moved out on my own, and how I just made everything so damn much more worse than it had to be. My goodness, my ego always knew everything. That's what our ego does for us. They think they know everything under the sun. Have you ever had conversations with people and they've always experienced something similar? When they experience a goddamn thing, but that's just what the ego does. The conversation will be on one person, and before the night is through, if you're out and about, um, it'll be, certain people, the conversation will always come back to them. They'll become the center of attention. When they realize other people are becoming the center of attention, then they'll want to be the center of attention, and then it just goes on and on and on and on, kind of a ripple effect or whatever. But anyway, when I moved out on my own, and I moved around to certain cities and this and that and the other. Like I said, my ego just was running the show. So my ego got me in a whole lot of motherfucking trouble. Meaning, I just didn't pay attention to the instincts, the gut, because you have them. And with me, I used to get stuff through dreams, through daydreaming, through lucid dreaming, all that kind of stuff. I used to get information, and we're not gonna make no more of that. That's because that's all of us. All of us have that, and so we're not. Let's keep that focus right there. That we all have that. And I'm saying it's instinct. It's something of an energy that's invisible, and I can take it all up to the universe if I wanted to in explaining it, but I'm not. That's not my job. To be, first of all, my job is to help. Okay, that's what my job is. My job is to help if I can, and to be of a particular type of service, because we've turned service into submissiveness and that's not what service is. Okay, subserviency, that's not service. The customer is always right, that's not service. The neighborhood is always right, the leaders are always right, the elderly is always right, the white people are always right. That's not service. We've lost the complete definition of serving people. Like I say, when you're serving somebody, they're not above you and they're not below you. They're completely equal to you. You can serve, when we serve somebody, we're serving them on an equal playing field, whereas no one is better than the other. Okay. And with service, it all depends on who you are. Because people, and we know that. We know that people will treat a certain group of people or a certain icons and celebrities and anybody in a high profile position or influencer, someone in those calibers. We give them so much more attention and service, and we know we do. Okay, that we wouldn't give an ordinary person coming in there every day and doing the same, buying the same stuff, and you know. But anyway, that's taking that somewhere else where I don't need to go there right now. I'll come back to that. But my point is, if I'm supposed to serve and help if I can, that's my duty. Okay, and a lot of us have that duty to serve, and that duty to help, and to provide information. Now, what others do with it, that's on them. It's all free will. There's no coercion here. There's no persuasion. There's no fear tactics. There's none of that. However, just like anybody else that say that they care about people and they want to help, that's all we're doing, and that's all I'm doing as well. So that's out. That's more like a disclaimer. Got that out of the way. Now let's get to the point of what I wanted to make this Saturday morning. Let's make sure of that. Yes, Saturday morning. I just don't want people to miss opportunities as we've done for so long and so long and so long. And be under the belief that you always have time. That, I'll do it later. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. All this contemplation. Not contemplation, but complacency and waiting around and, waiting for tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. And, keep putting things off and thinking that's okay. We've been given many, many, many opportunities throughout the course of time to become more humaneness. In other words, to become more human. And what do I mean by that? Well, just like if you go out in nature and take a look at trees, take a look at flowers, even take a look at the animals, they all go through a process of evolving or developing themselves. Okay, they don't necessarily, you don't hear a bird saying that they're gonna wait till tomorrow. When plants start growing, they start growing if they're getting proper care, from the universe usually, from the sun, the moon, whatever. They have that instinctual process of taking care of business. They don't have to be told. They don't have to be motivated. Okay, so we're going to have to get away from this belief, because that's all it is, a belief that you always have to be motivated. That you need to be motivated. Really. If you knew the big picture, all of that would be thrown out the window. Okay, you do not need to be motivated to do anything. Okay, it's becoming to a crisis point right now for all of us, to where, motivation is illogical right now. Okay, so if you have to, if you need all that type of motivation just to do what it takes to be more humane, then, it's just going to be more difficult for you. And so with me, some years ago, I was warned about a whole lot of stuff that could happen to me if I did this, or could happen to me if I did that. I got the warnings. Okay, I got the signs. I got the instinctual information or the gut feeling. But oh no, the ego says, oh no, nope. Nope, I got this. Have you ever done that to yourself? You're getting information from yourself. I'm not going to say hearing voices, because then people start going insane, out of sane, It's same thing. But anyway, you know, but it's like almost a gentle tap, and then it becomes a little bit more. Then before you know it, you're being, it's like you're being shaken, to wake up, you know. And so that's where we are, you know. We're in this process of, we need to be awakened. And that's, I'm not taking that any further than that. Okay, and turning it into something political, as a lot of people want to do. And it's just amazing how people are always politicizing everything that come out of people's mouths, to advantage themselves or to push their agendas. And wow, they don't know what they're playing with when they do that. But as they say, and this is not a threat or anything, but you do reap what you've sown. You do. Okay, it's cause and effect. It's cause and effect. Okay, and again, cause and effect is neutral, but the effects can be devastating, and they will be because of that. Okay, we're at a point of devastation because of what someone's done or what someone has caused, and it can be traced back. If you want to be, it can be traced back millions of years. Could it? Thousands of years? Could it? You have to be able to stretch your thoughts, in that direction to say, well, and think about the possibilities. Okay, just think about the possibilities. So again, like I said, I got the warnings. Okay, I got the warnings, I got the dreams and everything telling me, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And then it wasn't, and first it was like for minor stuff. Don't go this way when you get up. Don't go that way. I mean, don't say this, don't say that. And until it could have been a devastating thing, because I was ignoring it all for so long because I didn't know what to do with it. I mean, okay, yeah, you get an instinct, okay, and usually you'll be okay. But at some point, it starts to build and build and build and build. And you are, in the throes of, whether it's life or death. Just being really honest with you. And so thankfully, even though I was going through a lot at one point in my life, and we all will do that. Anybody that goes around and say, oh no, I don't deal with nothing. Okay, come on, stop doing that. And stop lying to yourself. Okay, you will go through something. You have to. That's part of becoming humaneness. You're not going to just fly through this life, with, bells and whistles and think you're going to be living on the beach or in the mountains or, wherever. It's just not going to happen like that. And it's best to get things over when you're kind of young anyway. When you're in your younger stages of life, then to wait until you're in your 80s and think you're going to be able to deal with certain matters that come at hand, because you kept saying, well, I'll wait. And before you know it, you're 80 years old. And certain things weren't done when you were in your 20s, when you knew you had to do it in your 20s because you got the information. You got the warnings. Okay, so like I said, we all get warnings. So anyone who says that we, that they weren't warned, usually the reason why they, you probably haven't heard that from them is because they didn't live through it. Okay, they got the warnings, but it was too late. Okay, and unfortunately, they are not with us per se. They died, or they were killed, or they were murdered. You get those warnings, okay? So thankfully, again, for me, situations were happened to me at one point in my life where it was a slowness of the effects, I should say. Things were, and let me tell you this as well. There were things happening to me that were life-threatening situations. Okay, let's say that. But keep in mind as well, I contributed to it because I didn't listen to the warnings. You get me? So I contributed as well. Okay, now there's no reason to beat yourself up about. There's no reason to be hard on yourself. Just know that that's what that's becoming humaneness. It's listening to all that, not your ego. Your ego is just something there to kind of present you to the world, and it has its function. But when you start hearing something from inside of you, come on now. And it's a difference from about voices. Voices is different. If you're hearing voices, that's something completely different. And I'm not a medical professional. All right. All of this is for entertainment purposes only. And I want to make that very clear. Okay. So hearing voices is different from what I'm speaking of. So we'll leave that alone. And get off of that. So again, luckily I had enough time to recognize what was happening to prevent a certain thing to happen to me. Let's put it that way. And over the course of time, it had to be refined to where, okay, I understand what that means now. Because sometimes you don't know what the hell things mean. And I don't understand. And you have to be willing to admit that. I do not understand. And then you'll probably get it more clarity towards you to where you do understand. It's like, oh, that's what that meant. The signs or the information or whatever it is. For so long I'm like, well, what does this mean? Especially in dreams. Sometimes you will dream about something and say, well, why I keep having that dream? What does that mean? What does that mean? And a lot of our dreams are like metaphors, as people say, but sometimes they are actual factual information. And I'm not saying no more about that as well. So, because you have to do your own research. Okay, if you think somebody's going to just come on and tell you everything about what you need to do, then you're going to fail every time. You have to do the research and understand what your dreams mean. Don't let nobody else interpret your dreams. Okay, figure it out yourself. And then you're going to have a revelation. And it's a revelation of not built on fear. There will be no fear once you get this revelation. You're not going to fear it. You're going to know that, okay, I need to get going here. I need to get it moving. I need to take care of this now. There is no more time. So that's what I'm doing constantly as far as developing and discovering. Everything is starting to make sense to me. Stuff that I had dreams about 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. It was like, oh, and that's just, like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let me make sure I make that clear. It's nothing to get so ruminating overthinking over it. And if you're under doctor's care or therapy and all that stuff, please pay attention to them. Don't pay attention to me. I'm supposed to help and provide service, but everything else is your responsibility. Okay, that's all it is. It's just information only. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take on my day, and keep my life flowing. Keep my life moving, and always have an ing in your discovering. Always be discovering. Don't say I'm discovered, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You ain't gonna do shit, okay? You ain't gonna do a damn thing. You need to be real honest with yourself and stop it. God, stop all this lying to yourselves. Stop it. It's not helping at all. Okay, it's not helping you at all. It's putting you in the face of danger. Okay, and that's not being fearful again. It's just information. You're in the face of danger. We're in the face of danger. Okay? So I want to send peace and love to everybody all over the planet, all over the universe. I do love you.